Hello, it's me, Aries0083, and I'm here to talk to you guys about the reviews that we got from San Diego Comic-Con. In one word, I'm going to describe them. They were meh, meh. The reviews that we got were Victorion, which is a box set. We also got a G2 Aerial Bot, which is a box set, and G2 Stunticons, which is also a box set. And finally, we had the Voyager assortment partner to Skylinks, which is Scattershot. So let's take a look at Scattershot first, since he's not in a folder. This is the official pick. I like the Silverboat mode. It's really cool. I like the big boots, and the gun is awesome. The customizer in me wants to paint these with a gold marker. And I also like that they gave him a new head, which is way cooler than the head that Silverboat has. Because for some reason, Silverboat looks depressed, like he's like, whoa, or tired. There's a weird look on Silverboat's face. But I like this Scattershot head mode. He looks like he's smirking. So that's Scattershot in robot mode. And here we have him in jet mode. I love the retool that they did with him, putting this cannon in the front. And even though there's a little window here, you could still see a door and windows leading to the back of the jet. And these wings look kind of funky since they're hollow. I like this guy, and I really wish that I could get him cheap. I don't know if I'm going to pay full price for him. A lot of these Transformers, the reason I don't get them is because of cost, because of how much they cost. I don't own Blitzwing, the triple changer, and I don't own Optimus Prime that converts to Ultra Prime, because for the price that they're selling them, I don't want them. But this guy, I'll gladly pay $24.99 to get him. So let's go into the aerial bots. We all know these guys. This is G2 Air Raid. One of my favorite colors is blue. So this is pretty cool. And I like Air Raid. Here he is in jet mode. He has the number 2 on his wings. And he also has the Generation 2 Autobot logo. Then we got Firefly, Generation 2. He's still white and red. His gun is blue. They painted his hands silver. And these little bits too. And here he is as a jet. With the number 3 on his wing. And he got fire. Fire! And Generation 2 logo. He's still a fat jet, and you can see his arms trying to hide in plain sight. Then we get Generation 2 Power Glide. I own Power Glide. I would get an extra one if I could. If I had all the money in the world right now, I would get another Power Glide. This guy comes in this case. It's a G2 Superion, so you're going to have to get him. You can't opt out. But if I had to pick between this guy and the old Power Glide, I'd pick the old Power Glide. Here he is in jet mode, Silver Jet. No numbers. Then we get Generations 2 Quick Slinger, which everyone likes to call Slingshot. I don't have the Slingshot mode, but I think I'll rather wait for Blast Off because he looks better. The original Generation 2 Slingshot suffered from GPS, which is Global Positioning System. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's gold plastic syndrome. It's something that happens to gold plastic and makes it brittle. But this usually happens to old toys and some toys that were made at the beginning of the 2000s. But I don't know if it's happened to anything that's been produced now. Like after 2010. I doubt this guy is going to become brittle and break, but gold's not one of my favorite colors. Who flies a gold jet? Maybe Goldfinger. So here he is as a fat jet with the number 4 and the Autobot symbol and his hand sticking out. It sucks that you get 2 of the same jets. You get Firefly and then you get Quickslinger. Here's Generation 2 Silverbolt. If you look at his face, what I was talking about with Scattershot, he looks sad, but I do like Silverbolt. These colors though, I don't know, I'm not a fan. Here he is as a jet. He has the number 5. And some racing stripes on his nose cone. That's right. Race those people to safety. Here we have Skydive. I really like the Skydive mode. Here he's mostly blue and silver. I'm not loving the silver. And here he is as a jet with the number 1. And since these guys come in a box set, you're going to have to get them regardless of color. You can't say, oh, I want G2 Air Raid. And then, unless someone decides to sell their box set separate, you're going to have to get all these guys together so they could combine into this guy. G2 Superion. I don't like Power Glide as a addition to the gun. He's floppy. His legs are floppy. I forgot to mention that Scattershot will become Computron.
Not likely.
I really hope that there's a video out there online of the review of Scattershot and his combined mode, Betatron, because I'm sure it was groan-inducing. It's like, yeah, we're going to get Computron. Betatron. Boo. Here we go with G2 Menasor. One of the things that disappointed me about this convention was that all these reveals are repaints. I expected some Titan Wars news, but I guess that all the news was blown because Frank Welker was at BotCon. And I don't think Hasbro's going to be at New York Comic Con. So we're going to have to wait for any more news, any new news, until Toy Fair 2016. And so here we have G2 Blackjack. Remember, you can't get these guys separate. So if you missed out on Blackjack, you're going to have to pay for the whole set to get them again. Don't like the colors. They're weird. Here's G2 Breakdown. His gun looks translucent, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just painted a weird pink color. Then here's Breakdown in his car mode. And it looks like they cut a little sticker of the G2 Decepticon logo and slapped it on his hood. I don't know why it says 94 Racing. Now that I think about it, 15 Racing could be because the Combiner Wars Stunticons were made in 2015, so I guess these guys are from 1994, these Generation 2 figures that these guys are homaging. Then we got my favorite figure, Dead End, in his Generation 2 colors, with his pipe. Boop, boop. And here he is as a car. Wow, they're really going to put this on him. It's a fireball of Decepticon goodness. Here we got G2 Dragstrip. He's mostly black. And here he is in his vehicle mode. I like Dragstrip. When he first came out, I was kind of meh about him, but seeing that he was the only vehicle part of the first wave of Combiner War figures, a little bit of fondness in my heart grew for him. Here we have Motor Master, all purpley. Yeah, Motor Master. Still looks the same, but purple. Here he is in truck mode. And the last of them is the dead end body with the new Wild Rider head. And I actually like these colors, the yellow and blue. Reminds me of Weird Wolf. Here's a Wild Rider as a car. And they all come together to form Generations 2 G2 Menasor. It's a clash of colors, but some people are going to love this. Depending on the box set, if it goes on clearance, I'll get it. But if it stays like at its regular retail price, I'm not going to pick this guy up. Or Superior. The one I will pick up because it's new, a new character that I don't have, is Victorion. According to the lore, Victorion, the components of Victorion are torchbearers, and they're in the Sea of Dust. I like that two of them are clones, but the colors are kind of atrocious. It's Christmas incarnate. Maybe these guys will come out for Christmas. Who knows? So, according to the TF Wiki, there's no data on these girls except their names. So let's go ahead and check them out. Here we have Dust Up, who's a retool of Dead End, one of my favorite Stunticon mode. And she looks like Nightbird. I've heard people on podcasts say that the Japanese Nightbird figure that's coming out, this is the same head. So I don't know how much of that is true, but she's a ninja. We haven't gotten ninjas in a while. And here she is as a vehicle with some Cybertronian writing and some ugly colors. Ugly. Here's Jumpstream, retool of Breakdown. She got a new chest and a new head. Her head kind of reminds me of Windblade, being all round. But that looks like a sticker. But I like her. I like Jumpstream and Dust Up so far. Here's Jumpstream in vehicle mode. Cybertronian writing. Looks like a sticker. And here's their leader, Pyromagma. She's a retool of Hotspot. She has new hands and I guess new forearms, but they look the same as Hotspot's. And she has a new chest and a new head. She kind of looks like Prowl. It would be cool if this weapon that she's holding could turn into like a crossbow. But I doubt it. It's probably just going to be the weird axe. Let me ask you a question. Axe away. Here's Pyromagma as a fire truck. You can see that Victorion's head is here, waiting to be folded out. Here's Rust Dust. Just saying Rust Dust reminds me of the wrestler Goldust. Goldust. And his brother Stardust. So this is their little sister, Rust Dust. She's a retool of groove. And this little body lends itself to being effeminate because of the long legs. In the 90s, I remember reading that J. Scott Campbell would draw girls with legs up to their neck. So Rusta's got it. Her legs are almost there, almost up to her neck. And here she is as a motorcycle. With a shattered window too. I guess patrolling in the sea of dust isn't that great. Rastas. Here's Skyburst, one of the twins. I'm guessing this is the more calmer of the twin. She comes with a blade. This is a retool of Alpha Bravo with new hands. New lower arms. And new bits on her chest. When we see her sister, Stormclash, the parts are reversed. On Stormclash, the Autobot symbol is on our right. And with Skyburst, it's on our left. It would be cool if the colors were inverted, but they're going with the clone theme. So they both have to have the same colors, transform into the same vehicle. Well, the clones would transform into different vehicles. But these two girls transform into slightly different robots, but the same vehicle. And the difference with Stormclash is she looks crazy. Look at that. I don't know what's going on with the mouth. It looks like she has fangs. Or that's just the open mouth with a smile. But it looks like fangs from far. She might have a berserker barrage. And here they are in vehicle mode. I tried to see if there was a difference. I'm looking at the top of the helicopter. There is some green here, but not on this side. But I was going over both of the transformers. Let me see, green, red. Green, red. Wait. I think their legs are swapped. So I think this might be the picture of one of them, not of both. But since I had two pictures, I couldn't tell the difference between the two alt modes, so I deleted one. But this is more or less what these girls are going to look like transformed into vehicle mode. And all of them are going to combine into Victorion. Which has a cool new head. And her weapons combine into this big sword. These hands that are new are probably not going to transform into feet. And these feet aren't going to transform into hands or weapons. They're new pieces specifically made for Victorion. And since she comes in a box set, they're all going to be packaged in there with her. Alright, so that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for Victorion? Out of all of these, I want Victorion and Scattershot. I couldn't care about the 2G2 box sets, but let me know if you do love G2. I don't get it. I'm Aries0083, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye.